So my friends, is there a motion for the California Democratic Party to go on record in support of the California Faculty Association's Fight for 5? All those in favor? So the ticket to everybody's future starts with one thing: a good, free, high-quality public education. But there are people that we encounter every day who want to change that. They want to privatize schools. They want to corporatize schools. They want to punish teachers, hold them to standards that nobody else is held to. And worst of all, they want to take away their right to bargain collectively. I don't know about you, I've been blessed to have a pretty damn good life because I had teachers who taught me how to read and how to write and how to think critically and how to play a couple of musical instruments. Well, I got to tell you, the president of the California Teachers Association's got a lot of battles on his hands right now. He's got to fight Vergara. He's got to keep his fingers crossed on Friedrichs. He's got to keep the charter schools under control. And he's got to make sure that our teachers actually can teach our kids. He's got one thing going for him. He's a music guy. He knows how to spirit it out with music. So with that, let me give you the great president of the California Teachers Association, Eric Heins.
Good morning, Democrats. So, Democrats, are we going to be there for our California faculty? Are we there for the Fight for 5? Well, good morning. On behalf of the 325,000 members of the California Teachers Association, I bring you greetings. This is an election year, and it's a time for hope. It's an opportunity for us to win more victories for our students, for our working families, and for our communities. As you've heard in this convention, there's a lot going on. For me, 2016 started with an historic visit to the U.S. Supreme Court, where I attended and listened to arguments in the case of Friedrichs versus CTA. It's an important case because it threatens all of our rights as workers to come together and bargain wages and benefits to sustain our families. These are the same rights and protections that have allowed us to advocate for better public services, for more vibrant communities. We are fighting efforts to weaken the middle class. Well, the recent death of Justice Antonin Scalia, it's led to a lot of speculation about what's going to happen next in this case. And honestly, we still don't know what the court's going to do. We could hear next month or we could wait until June. But I do know this: CTA and all of labor, we're going to continue to do what we always do, and that's organize, not agonize. As educators, we're going to continue to speak for our students and our communities, and one court case or 100 court cases is not going to change that. Because you know what the real agenda is in this case, and you know who is behind it. It's being pushed by billionaires and corporate special interests like the Koch brothers, who want to shift the balance of power and want to manipulate the rules to their advantage. It's the same people who led the attack on women's rights. It's the same people who are seeking to destroy our environment. It's the same people who in 2012 opposed a funding initiative to stop the draconian budget cuts to public education, healthcare, public safety, and other essential services. But you know what? We're going to keep speaking out, because America's labor movement is the strongest voice we have for America's working families and against the corporate special interests seeking to diminish our rights. And after all, more than 9 million students in California's schools and colleges are depending on us. Today, our colleges and schools are moving forward. Thanks to Governor Brown for leading the fight for every one of you in this room who voted for Proposition 30. Because in 2012, it put California back on the road to budget stability. And had the California Democratic Party not supported Prop 30, and had it not passed, California would have faced another $6 billion in cuts in 2013 alone. But instead, we began restoring funding to our public schools and restoring cuts to important vital services. Prop 30 helped public education recover some of the funds it lost during the recession. And we're now only just now beginning to get back on track. We've hired more teachers, more education support professionals, brought additional books and supplies directly to the classroom, reopened school libraries, and improved our community colleges, while at the same time stabilizing California's budget to prevent even more devastating cuts to services for seniors and low-income children. But the bad news, you knew there was going to be some bad news, is that the revenues of Prop 30, well, they're ready to sunset. And the governor's budget forecast shows that the state's facing another $3 billion deficit this year alone if nothing changes. And that's why CTA, along with the Service Employees International Union, the California Federation of Teachers, the California School Employees Association, the California Faculty Association, the California Hospitals Association, the California Medical Association, we filed a new initiative, and we're collecting signatures for the Children's Education and Healthcare Protection Act. This measure simply extends the income tax increase on wealthiest Californians for another 12 years, and it only affects about 2% of earners in the state. Without this initiative, we risk going back to the days of massive budget cuts, teacher layoffs, and more seniors and families struggling to find affordable health care. We cannot afford to go back. If you haven't done so, if you haven't signed, I don't know how you missed our legions of volunteers, because over 500 of you signed the petition this weekend. Thank you, because you signed to support our students and our future. You know, some folks in that other party sometimes like to accuse unions of having an agenda. Well, I've got to admit to you, we do. It's actually right here. It's called the Public Education All California Students Deserve. This agenda is what each and every one of us in this room want for our kids. We all want our students, regardless of race, age, gender, sexual orientation, or the zip code in which they live, to have an equal opportunity to succeed. We all want our kids to have smaller class sizes, which give educators more time to provide one-on-one instruction. We all want to invest in learning over testing, so students get a well-rounded education that includes art and music and dance and PE. All California kids deserve access to preschool and early childhood education. Families should have the support they need at home so children come to school healthy and ready to learn. Our schools need counselors, nurses, and other education support professionals to help meet the needs of all children. All students deserve affordable college and career and technical training programs that will prepare them for good-paying jobs. And we must all speak out for social and economic justice to ensure that everyone has the equal right in our free and democratic society. That's our agenda, and I am proud of it. And I'm going to end on this note. As an elementary school teacher, I frequently seen the spark of learning in my students' eyes. I've seen the light bulb go on and witnessed thousands of those aha moments. That's what keeps me going. It's knowing that in this great state that we have caring people like you. It's knowing that when we all come together, we can make a real change for our state, for our children, and for our future. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for fighting the good fight to ensure our students, families, and our communities survive and thrive in 2016 and for generations to come. Thank you very much.